Rain whispered over the black umbrellas, tapping like tiny tears on the polished coffin. 8-year-old Lila clutched a faded teddy bear, its ear torn, its fur soaked. Her small hands trembled as the coffin sank slowly into the earth. Inside lay her father, Tom Bennett, the only person who ever called her sunshine. The gray sky mirrored her hollow eyes. Even the air seemed to shiver with grief. Her stepmother, Veronica, stood beside her, tall, elegant, and emotionless. Her black gloves stayed spotless even as the mud splashed. Lila stared up, silently begging for a hand to hold, but Veronica looked away. The last handful of dirt hit the coffin with a dull thud, and in that sound, something inside Lila broke. If your heart aches seeing how much a child can lose in a moment, take a second to like this video, share it with someone who believes in kindness, and subscribe to Kindness to Heart, where stories remind us that compassion can still change lives. When the ceremony ended, guests whispered condolences and drifted away under the weeping trees. The world felt quiet, too quiet. Lila stood alone beside the grave, her shoes sinking into the wet soil. "Come on," Veronica said sharply, opening the black umbrella. "We're leaving." "But Daddy's here," Lila whispered, her voice cracking. Veronica's lips tightened. "Your father is gone. Don't start." Lila's lower lip quivered, but she obeyed. At home, the house that once smelled of pancakes and coffee now reeked of lemon cleaner and silence. Tom's pictures were already gone from the walls. The framed family photo, Tom holding Lila at the beach, had vanished from the mantel. "Where's the picture?" Lila asked, eyes wide. "I threw it out," Veronica said coldly, removing her gloves. "It's time to move on. That chapter is closed." Lila's chest tightened. "But he's my dad," Veronica exhaled sharply. "And my husband, who left me with debts and a child that isn't mine. You'll pack your things tonight. You're going to stay with your aunt." Lila's stomach twisted. "But Aunt Marie lives 3 states away." "Exactly," Veronica snapped. "Closer to where you belong." That night, Lila packed her small suitcase in silence. She placed her teddy bear, Mr. Buttons, on top and clutched a photo she found hidden in a drawer, her father smiling, holding her on his shoulders. She folded it carefully and whispered, "I'll find you again, Daddy." Morning came with gray light and cold coffee. Veronica didn't look at her as she loaded the suitcase into the car. When they reached the bus station, Veronica handed the driver an envelope. "Send her to Ridgeville. Someone will pick her up." Lila turned to say goodbye, but Veronica had already driven off. Just like that, hours passed. The bus rumbled down winding roads. Lila pressed her forehead to the window, watching raindrops chase each other down the glass. Her stomach growled. She hadn't eaten since last night. The driver stopped at a gas station halfway through the trip. When Lila returned from the restroom, the bus was gone. She stood there, trembling, clutching Mr. Buttons. The driver must have thought she was on board. Her small suitcase was gone too. Panic filled her chest like icy water. She ran to the road, waving at passing cars. None stopped. "Daddy, please," she sobbed, collapsing onto the curb. The sound of thunder rolled through the distance. Then, headlights. A black sedan pulled over, the window rolled down, revealing a man in his 50s with kind blue eyes and a tailored gray suit. "Are you okay, sweetheart?" he asked softly. I lost my bus," she stammered, tears mixing with rain. The man stepped out, holding his umbrella over her. "Where are you supposed to go?" She sniffled. "To my aunt's house. But I don't know where that is." He looked at her small face, her trembling hands, the teddy bear soaked with rain. "You look freezing. Let's get you warm first. My name's Henry Caldwell. You can trust me." Lila hesitated, but something about his voice, gentle, patient, felt safe. He took her to a nearby diner, the kind with fogged-up windows and the smell of hot cocoa. As she sipped from the steaming cup, Henry watched her quietly, noticing the sadness etched into her eyes far too deep for her age. "Where are your parents?" he asked. "My dad's gone," she whispered, "and my stepmom, she didn't want me anymore." Henry's expression softened, his heart tightening. He was a widower himself. No children, Just memories of a daughter he'd lost years ago in a car accident. You remind me of someone, he said quietly. Lila looked up. Who? My little girl, he murmured, smiling faintly. She used to hold her teddy bear just like that. Outside, the rain eased. Inside, two souls, one small and lost, one older and lonely, found the first flicker of light in the dark. Lila woke up in a warm bed for the first time in days, soft white sheets, sunlight streaming through lace curtains. For a second, she thought she was dreaming, until she smelled pancakes. She followed the smell downstairs, her bare feet sinking into the thick rug. In the kitchen, Henry stood at the stove, humming quietly. You're up, he said, smiling. Hungry? She nodded shyly. If this moment made you smile, seeing kindness offered to someone who's been forgotten, take a moment to like this story, share it with a friend who believes in second chances, and subscribe to Kindness to Heart so we can keep sharing stories that heal hearts. As they ate, Henry tried to make her laugh with silly faces. Slowly, the walls around Lila's heart began to crack. She started to tell him about her dad, the bedtime stories, the fishing trips, the way he'd tuck her in and whisper, You're my sunshine. Henry listened, his throat tightening. Your father sounds like a good man. He was, she said proudly. He said love is what makes a family. Days passed. Henry took her to the park, to bookstores, to the little cafe downtown. He enrolled her in school, bought her clothes, and hung her father's photo on the living room wall. Still, every night, Lila would whisper at the window, Good night, Daddy. One evening, as autumn leaves swirled outside, a knock echoed on the door. Henry opened it and froze. Veronica stood there. Her makeup was smudged, her posture shaky. Lila, she whispered. The girl stepped back, fear and confusion in her eyes. Veronica swallowed hard. I came to see her. I shouldn't have left her like that. Henry's voice was measured. You abandoned a child. Why now? Tears filled her eyes. I lost everything after Tom died. The house, the money. I blamed her because I didn't know how to handle the pain. But I can't sleep knowing what I did. Lila looked at her, trembling. You said I wasn't yours. Veronica knelt down, tears spilling. I was wrong. You were his, and that means you're a part of him. I see him in your eyes every day. Please, forgive me. Henry watched silently. Lila clutched Mr. Buttons. Her heart hurt, but she remembered what her father used to say. Love isn't about perfect people. It's about forgiveness. She took a small step forward. You can visit, she whispered, but I want to stay here. Veronica nodded, sobbing. That's fair. As she left, Henry placed a hand on Lila's shoulder. You did the right thing, sunshine. She smiled faintly. That's what Daddy would say. That night, as they sat by the fireplace, Henry looked at her and said, You've brought warmth back into this house, Lila. If you'll let me, I'd like to be your family. Lila looked up, eyes shining. Can I call you Grandpa? He smiled through tears. I'd like that very much. Outside, snow began to fall, soft and pure. Inside, two hearts, one broken, one scarred, found home again.